In the dark water of almost every ocean on Earth drifts a creature smaller than your fingernail. It has no brain, no heart, no bones, and it has done something that no human and no other animal has ever managed to do. It has found a way to cheat death. This is the immortal jellyfish. Its real name sounds like a promise. Turritopsis dohrnii. As far as we know, it is the only animal on the planet that does not have to die. To understand what it does, you first have to understand a law that rules all life. Everything ages. From the moment we are born, our cells slowly wear down, and one day they simply stop. Aging is the price of being alive, or so we always believed. It is a quiet, universal rule. The mayfly lives for a single day. The tortoise lives for 2 centuries. But sooner or later, the clock runs out for all of them. Life is borrowed, and in the end, always, it is repaid. The immortal jellyfish begins like any other. A fertilized egg becomes a tiny swimming larva. The larva sinks and settles and grows into a polyp, a small stalk rooted to the seafloor. And from that polyp, little jellyfish bud off and drift away into the open sea. This is the medusa, the adult jellyfish. It feeds, it grows, and eventually it breeds. And for nearly every jellyfish in the ocean, this is where the story ends. Once it has reproduced, the adult body withers and dies. But not this one. When the immortal jellyfish is starving, or wounded, or simply old, it does something that should be impossible. Instead of dying, it sinks to the bottom, and its body begins to collapse in on itself. Its tentacles pull inward, its bell dissolves, and its cells, instead of shutting down, begin to transform. The adult jellyfish is turning itself back into a polyp. It is becoming young again. Think about what that really means. It is as if a butterfly, at the very end of its life, could melt back into a caterpillar, and then grow up all over again. A frog becoming a tadpole, an old man becoming a baby. Scientists call this transdifferentiation. The jellyfish takes its own finished cells, muscle, nerve, and skin, and reprograms them into something completely different. It does not heal a wound or regrow a limb. It rebuilds its entire self from the inside out. And here is the part that shatters the rules. It can do this again, and again, and again, in theory with no limit at all. Each time it comes close to death, it can wind the clock all the way back to the beginning. For a normal animal, aging is a one-way road. For the immortal jellyfish, it is a circle. Egg to polyp to adult, and back to polyp once more. A life with no natural end. We only discovered this by accident. In the 1980s, a young researcher was keeping some of these jellyfish in a tank and left them alone. When he returned, the adults were gone, but the tank was not empty. It was full of polyps. The jellyfish had aged backward. At first, no one believed it. It sounded like a fairy tale, but careful study confirmed the impossible. This tiny animal drifting in the sea had quietly solved the one problem that every living thing on Earth is trying to escape. One small jellyfish had rewritten a law we thought could never be broken. That death eventually comes for everything. And here was a living exception, pulsing gently in a laboratory tank. Now, it is important to be honest about what immortal really means here. This jellyfish can still be eaten. It can still be killed by disease. It is not indestructible. But from old age alone, left in peace, it may never die at all. And it is on the move. Carried in the ballast water of cargo ships, the immortal jellyfish has quietly spread from its home in the Mediterranean to oceans all around the world. A silent, undying traveler, riding our own vessels across the planet. Which leads to an unsettling thought. Somewhere out there, drifting in the dark right now, there may be immortal jellyfish far, far older than we could ever guess. Animals that were already ancient, long before we knew they existed. So why should any of this matter to us? Because hidden inside this creature is a secret that scientists are desperate to understand. The immortal jellyfish rebuilds its own cells without them ever spinning out of control. And that is the strange, dark link to one of our worst diseases. Cancer, too, is cells transforming and refusing to die. But cancer is pure chaos. The jellyfish does almost the same thing, with perfect control. If we could ever learn how, it might change medicine forever. Laboratories around the world now keep these jellyfish alive, watching them die and be reborn over and over again, trying to read the instructions buried inside their cells. Jellyfish are among the oldest animals on the planet. They were drifting through the seas more than 600 million years ago, before the dinosaurs, before trees, before almost everything, simple, soft, and brainless. And one of them cracked the code of immortality. It is humbling, honestly. We build machines and medicines and chase the secret of a longer life. And all the while, a speck of jelly with no brain at all has been quietly living the answer for millions of years. There is something haunting in it, too. To live forever is not only to survive, it is to watch everything else pass away. To begin again and again, alone in the dark, while the world above changes beyond all recognition. And we still do not fully understand how it works, how its cells know the way back, how it escapes the damage that ends every other life. The immortal jellyfish keeps its secret folded inside a body you could barely see. So it drifts on, in warm harbors and cold deep water, in every ocean we have ever thought to look, beating and dissolving and being reborn. A tiny glassy loop of life that simply refuses to close. Everything alive is running out of time. Everything, it seems, except this. It is a quiet thought to sit with, that somewhere in the cold and the dark, life found a door marked exit and simply chose not to walk through it. No struggle against the end, just a small, patient refusal to stop. We tend to imagine immortality as power, crowns and armies, and names that echo through history. But here it is instead, soft and silent and almost invisible, a drifting speck that will outlast every empire we will ever build. Perhaps that is the real lesson of the immortal jellyfish, that the most extraordinary things are rarely the loudest. Sometimes they are the smallest and the quietest, hiding in plain sight, in the deep. Somewhere below you right now, a creature the size of a grain of sand is quietly starting its life over, for perhaps the 1,000th time. It does not know that it is a miracle. It only knows how to begin again. This is Phantom. Subscribe, and we will keep going deeper. This was Phantom. The deep is vast, and we have only just begun. Subscribe, and we will take you back into the dark on the next descent.